So today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a camera trap with the aim of capturing some footage of the long-nosed bandicoot, which is a cryptic and nocturnal species. So we'll be using this camera, which is the Reconyx 550. So we'll face our camera south to avoid the sunlight and shadows getting too much in the way. And then we'll also put it in an area like this, so with a bit of dense undergrowth, because bandicoots are pretty shy, so we don't want to have it in a big open area where they're likely to be startled. And so there's some undergrowth here, and we'll also be using some bait. So we'll be making a bait station. The bait we'll be using is peanut butter and rolled oats. So we'll put that directly in the detection zone, and then with the hope that the bandicoot will come up to the area, have a look around, have a feed, and we'll get some good shots. Another thing you have to consider is clearing the area of all vegetation or scrub or stuff that might get in the way. Okay, so once you've got the area that you're going to be camera trapping in, you just got to make sure that all the settings on the camera trap are correct for the species you're trying to identify. So you go into settings, you get the time, the date and the temperature correct. You put it on whatever mode you like, and then the resolution, about 1080 pixels is fine for this trapping, because we don't really want to identify individuals, we just want to get an estimate of the numbers that are here. And then the trigger, motion sensor on, sensitivity we'll have it on high. For most Australian mammals, or for most Australian animals, you'd have it on high, just because they're pretty small and it can't hurt having it on high. And then pics per trigger, we want 2, just to make sure that in case we miss something, we have another backup image. And then we'll put a 10-second interval between triggers, so if an animal comes along, triggers the camera, it'll take 2 pictures, and then there'll be 10 seconds before it takes another photo. This is just to make sure that you don't get an abundance of data. So we want to identify the animals, but we don't need to know their every movement. So let's just think that this is my bait, nice rolled oats and peanut butter. And then you just got to position the bait maybe about 1.5 to 2 meters away from your camera trap. And the height of the camera trap should be about 20 to 40 centimeters off the ground. Always orientated facing south, and then just adjust the camera to where you think the detection zone might be. So the camera has the field of view is quite wide, but the detection zone is actually only in certain areas. So to set the trigger off, an animal will have to move across certain horizontal and vertical fields. So if you have your baiting station right in the middle of where the camera's field of view is, then that should ensure that the animal moves across the sufficient views that it needs to in order to trigger the camera. So I just want to adjust it a little more to make sure I actually get some good footage. So I'm just wedging some wood behind there. Alright, so once you think you've got your camera set in a pretty good position, you can do the walk test to make sure that you'll actually get some footage. So you'll set it on walk test, and then you'll move around in your baiting area, and then you'll take the SD card out and check it on your device to make sure that you've got some good footage. Okay, so I've taken out the SD card, I've checked the images on my laptop and made sure that the bait is right in the center of my detection zone. Now I've put the SD card back in, I've adjusted the position of the camera trap and made sure it's exactly where I want it. All the vegetation is clear, I've checked my batteries, made sure they're full. SD card's erased, so it's ready to store some images. Now I'm ready to arm the camera. This is the most important step, because if you don't do that, you won't get any footage. So all you have to do here is press OK when it comes to arm camera, and now it's started counting down 10 seconds, and I have time to close it off, get out of the way and get ready to get some good footage of bandicoots.